This journey with CableFi started many years ago, roughly 3 or so. And while I was at GCV, we were taking on a lot of big projects that were throughout the United States that had a lot of technicians. These were large footprint buildings with anywhere from 200 to 400 cables each. And we were running into a wall with how do we keep our technicians in sync? How do we know what the status is throughout the project? That could relate to each individual IDF location, client endpoints. How do we figure what the termination status is of a cable? And how do we keep everybody's blueprints up to sync so everybody knows where we are? And I think everybody in the structured cabling industry has dealt with that. And nobody has been provided or been able to find a clear solution on how do we track at a very low level what the status is of everything going on. So around 2019, I decided I was going to spin up a development group and start putting CableFi, the ideas I had for CableFi, into process. And it grew from a very high level application that had basic tracking functionality, gave technicians access to blueprints digitally, and allowed us to all stay on the same page throughout the job site. And more importantly, also gave managers the ability to manage job sites remotely, because then they now had the production status of everything going on within that site. They could see who was assigned to what tasks, how quickly their team was progressing through those tasks. And it would give them an idea of whether they're going to meet their allotted installation timeframes or they were going to run over. So from that standpoint, CableFi has just increased our ability to perform and deliver projects really at scale, and that's across the United States with dozens of technicians deployed, and up to 1,000 plus man hours worked per week. So without CableFi, we would never have been able to we would never have been able to grow at the rate and the scale that we've done over the last 2 years without having CableFi. So with CableFi, the ability to understand where your technicians are and what they're working on a minute-by-minute basis, being able to have blueprints in the palm of your hand allows your technicians to stay on the same page, which means they don't have to email, they don't have to send, call their PMs, they don't have to run back and forth to sync up their blueprints with their site lead. Everything that would normally take an exorbitant amount of time has been drastically decreased with CableFi. And when you have the ability to digitally send tasks to your team members without picking up the phone, without sending emails, any of that, they automatically get a notification that they've been assigned a task, and they can automatically update that task directly from their phone and then move on to the next task that could be on the punch list where they weren't assigned. Being able to see what needs to be done and when it needs to be done has allowed us to gain a 30% man-hour efficiency across our projects. And that's just with just keeping people in sync and always keeping them working. Nobody has to stand around waiting for direction, waiting for instruction. It's already there in the palm of their hand. And if you have really good guys, all they have to do is take a look and get on whatever needs to be getting on.